Everyone, thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to share some fonts with you, specifically fonts that I used in my bullet journal for October. I'm going to show you this font, which is called, I believe it's called Haunted Hill or Hill House. You'll recognize it from American Horror Story. I'm going to show you this font, which is possibly the easiest, best font you could do. I mean, a lot of us hate the way our handwriting looks. Well, this guy's going to be right up your alley. And then I thought I'd do a more intermediate font. So this one, I believe, is called Haunting Attraction. And I'm going to show you an easy way to kind of create this within the realm of your bullet journal or your planner. So I hope you enjoy and I hope you follow along, and you can check out my blog. I'll have more information there, but yeah, thank you for watching today. So I grabbed a whole bunch of pens to use to show you, and we're actually going to start with what I'm calling the handwriting font first. So I'm just going to grab my Pentel. This is a Pentel RSVP fine point pen, ballpoint. And what I really like about it is that it's kind of got a bit of a scratchy quality to it, which is what you want when you're doing this handwriting font. Handwriting creepy, let's call it that. Okay, so depending on how large you want it, I'm just going to use two blocks, two of the grids, which again, what makes lettering so fantastic in the bullet journal is that your grids are kind of already there for use. The scratchier the tip, the better I find the effect. So you're just gonna scratch over it and keep going, and don't even worry about making it so that it lines up all the time. And you just want to be kind of loose in your wrist and kind of like loose holding the pen. You don't want to like grip, like white knuckle it. You just want it to create its own little creepy effect. And there you go. So there you kind of have that creepy, scratchy effect. I'm going to go ahead and do the whole alphabet for you so that you can reference that if you choose to use this font for days of the week or whatever you want. Like I said, I like this tip more since it's scratchier. I can show you the Papermate Flare gets a bit, because it's more of a marker, it kind of bleeds into each other, like into each line, so that you don't get as scratchy. This is a Zebra Z-Grip medium gel pen, I believe. Let me just checking this out. Nope, this is still ball pen. The gel pen, you're still going to have the same issue that you're going to run into, which is that the lines are going to bleed together. This is a medium point, which again also works really, really well. If you're using your drawing pens, again, they kind of bleed into each other. So the scratchier your pen, the better. If you have a pen where it's running out of ink, I think that is like primo opportunity to use this font. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to do the rest of the letters. And if not, just I've put a marker on the next font so you can just skip ahead. So I just wanted to add one more thing with this font. You want to step away from the more curvy letters. So for example, my regular handwriting, my W is kind of breast shaped. You want to make it more angular and use more lines to get that super creepy font. Okay, so the next font is the American Horror Story / Hill House font. And again, that is, just to recall, that is this guy that we're looking at here. And again, I'm going to do October for you, and then I'm going to do the whole alphabet for you so that you can kind of get an idea of how to do the different letters. So this is Hill House. So for this one, what I'm doing is I'm essentially cutting this block in half, this block you see here in half, and coming back around in there and creating the bottom portion. And I'm going to be doing the same for the R. And there you have October. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to letter the rest of the alphabet for reference. So you can either skip ahead for the next more intermediate font, or you can just kind of relax and enjoy the music. Quickly before we move on, a lot of your letters are standard, just emphasizing the tall and skinny. So this one I kind of made a little bit too wide. But again, you can use your dot grid as your guide. So for example, using one set of squares versus two sets of squares versus 1.5 sets of squares. So that's kind of how you can gauge how you want your lettering to be. Another good example is the C for the 1. You can also do your 1.5, or you can do your 2. Oh my goodness. So that's kind of how I use my blocks to make sure my letters are the same width, or at least similar width. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our more intermediate, more daunting font. Moving on to Haunting Attraction. Now, at first glance, this font may seem not so bad to recreate, but into quite a few issues in terms of sitting down and like getting this almost knife-like effect. And so for this one, I would recommend a thicker pen. So again, the flare, or maybe even like a 0.3 or a 0.5 drawing pen, and the microns a 0.5. It's just kind of a better cheat way. So what we're going to do is, and again, if you look, these are tall and narrow. So we're going to start off by lettering October. So I'm going to work on staying within those 2 blocks like we just spoke. And I'm just going to add some width to the lines. Okay, now we're going to create that B. Or I guess the C. Ugh, this always happens to me. I always forget what I'm spelling. C. Okay, now in order to create that sharp spiky effect, we're going to add more width to the rest of the letter, and we're going to just come over here. Now we're going to do our T. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to do a T. Okay, and you're going to start at the tip and come out toward the side. Start at the tip, out toward the side, and then you're going to kind of create that same line width along your crossbar. Okay, now we're going to do our O again. A little bit of width to it. Now we're going to do our B, finally. E. It's a little triangle, bring it back in. And now the R. So again, you're going to draw out your line, and then you're going to bring it back in, starting from the tip. Okay. Now, as you can see, I left a lot of space in between my letters, and that's because we're going to go in, just going to use the sky, and we're going to add in the serifs. And again, these serifs are kind of pointy. I'm being reminded why I moved out of a leuchtturm, which is the smudging. Okay, so we're going to make it all pointy. Back down, back in. Back in. Okay, and if you wanted to add more point to these guys, you can. Let's see. There we go. And that's how you can kind of create that font. So there you have it, 3 fonts that you can do in your bullet journal for Halloween. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you do, please like and subscribe. I'm hoping to start uploading more lettering and doodle content specific for bullet journaling and planners. So I hope you stick around. Thank you.